Have you ever really wondered what's going on inside one of these super sophisticated AI agents? Because we're way beyond simple chatbots now. We're talking about systems that can actually reason through problems and take real action. So today, we're going to go under the hood and demystify how these incredible things are built, piece by piece. You're going to get the blueprint for the next wave of AI.
You know, this quote is the perfect way to think about it. We've all seen the raw power of generative AI. It's like this incredible engine. But all that power is pretty useless without control. So today, we're getting into the driver's seat. We're going to learn how to actually steer, how to tune, and how to direct that power to build something genuinely useful. Okay, so first things first. Before we can even think about driving, we need to understand the engine, right? Let's get down to the absolute basics of how an AI model processes information, because it's probably not how you imagine.
You see, an AI engine doesn't run on text the way we read it. The fuel for this whole operation is something called tokens. And really, understanding tokens is the first key to unlocking everything else, because they are the fundamental currency of any large language model.
And what's really interesting is that tokens aren't always whole words. For example, a word like running might get broken down into two tokens, run and ing. It's just like Lego bricks. You have all these different shapes and sizes that you can combine to build anything you want. That's exactly how AI uses tokens to build language.
And just to give you a practical rule of thumb, it's super helpful to remember this. About 100 tokens equals roughly 75 words in English. It's a simple little conversion that helps you get a sense of the scale of what these models are actually processing.
Okay, so our engine runs on tokens. Got it. Now, let's get behind the wheel and start playing with the controls on the dashboard. This is where the fun starts, because this is how we can shape the AI's output and turn it from, say, a strict fact-checker into a creative genius, just by turning a few simple dials.
Now, the most important dial on our dashboard is something called temperature. Think of it as a creativity dial. When you set a low temperature, the model plays it safe. It picks the most logical, predictable next token. This is perfect for stuff where you need precision, like math or code. But when you turn that temperature up, the model starts taking risks, choosing less common words to create something totally new and surprising.
Let's see this in action. So we asked the AI to describe a sunset, but with a low temperature setting. And what do we get? Pure science. It's factual, it's precise, it's exactly what you'd find in a textbook. Correct for sure, but maybe not super inspiring.
Now look at this, same exact prompt, but this time we crank the temperature way up, and boom, the AI is suddenly a poet. Bruised purple sky, hues of fire and tangerine. It's incredible, and it just shows you the power you have with one single parameter. You're not just getting an answer, you're literally shaping its entire personality.
All right, so we've tuned the personality, but so far it's still just a very fancy text generator. To build a true agent, we need to give it a brain, a way for it to think, to plan, and to solve problems step by step. And we do this by building what's called a reasoning loop.
And here it is. This is the blueprint for a modern AI agent. And you'll notice it's not just the core model anymore. A real agent combines that model with a reasoning loop, that's its operating system, and a set of tools which are basically its hands to interact with the world.
The reasoning loop is kind of like a chef tasting a soup, right? They taste it, that's observe. They decide it needs more salt, that's think. They add the salt, that's act. And then they taste it again. It's this cycle of think, act, observe that separates a simple generator from a genuine problem solver.
And one of the absolute most powerful techniques for building that reasoning loop is something called chain of thought. It's a brilliant little trick. Instead of just asking for the final answer, you prompt the AI to show its work, to think out loud. And this simple change dramatically improves its ability to tackle complex logic and math problems.
And look at how this works in practice. Instead of just jumping straight from the question to the answer 11, the AI first writes down its entire logic. It establishes the facts. Roger started with 5 balls. It does the calculation, and then it concludes. By forcing it to go through this step-by-step process, it can catch its own mistakes and arrive at the right answer way more reliably.
So our agent has an engine and it has a brain. It can reason. But it's still trapped. It's stuck inside its own head with only the knowledge that it was trained on, which is already out of date. To be truly useful, we have to give it hands so it can interact with the world right here and right now.
This is such a critical point. Without tools, an AI can't check today's stock prices or book a flight or look up your company's latest sales numbers.
Tools are what connect the AI's powerful brain to the real, live, constantly changing world.
The key process that makes this all happen is called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. And it's not just the ultimate weapon against AI hallucinations. This is the technique that lets an AI work with your own private, up-to-the-minute data, grounding it in facts to solve real business problems.
And here's basically how it works. A user's prompt doesn't just go straight to the AI model. No, first it triggers a query to an external data source, like a database or the internet, to pull in the relevant facts. So the AI is essentially getting an open book exam, not a closed book memory test.
So the whole process is really just a simple three-step dance. First, you retrieve the facts you need from your data source. Second, you augment the original prompt by adding those facts to it. And third, you generate the final answer, which is now grounded in that real, retrieved information.
Okay, so we've assembled our agent. It has an engine, a dashboard to control it, a brain to reason, and hands to interact with the world. Now for the really exciting part, let's see how all these pieces come together to create powerful, real-world business applications that are changing how things get done today.
And let's be clear, this isn't some far-off future technology. These agent-based systems are already being deployed in two massive areas. They're totally revolutionizing how companies talk to their customers and how they unlock all the knowledge that's hidden away in their own internal data.
I mean, just look at a modern customer engagement suite. It's a perfect example. You have a conversational agent that handles that first contact. If things get tricky, an agent assist copilot jumps in, feeding real-time info to the human agent. And then, a conversational insights agent analyzes all those calls to spot trends. It's a whole intelligent ecosystem.
And this isn't just for talking to customers. Think about your own company's messy internal documents and wikis. By applying these same agent principles, especially RAG, tools like Vertex AI Search can turn all that chaos into a smart conversational search engine. So employees can just ask a normal question like, what's our sales strategy for Q3, instead of trying to guess keywords for hours.
So there you have it. We went from the tiniest building block, the token, all the way up to a full-blown business solution. We've seen how to tune the engine, how to build a brain, and how to connect it to the real world. You now have the complete blueprint. So the only real question left is, what problem are you going to solve with it?